Welcome, welcome. We are at day 5 to the High Income Health Expert Challenge. How many of you have been enjoying this experience that we've been going through the last 5 days? Have you been learning a lot? How about a yes in the chat if you have been enjoying this as much as I've been enjoying this? This is it's really rewarding for me to see people who have a health message that I know can transform lives, that can help improve their health and have the energy, vitality to really to heal their body, their mind, their spirit. It's like I'm excited when I get to see other health educators equipped with the skills that not only can pay the bills, but can really transform the lives of the people that you're uniquely able to equip that I could never reach in my lifetime as much as I would like to. So it's great that we get to come together. This today is the last day of our challenge. So it's a 5-day challenge. And remember again, this is a challenge. It's not an online course. This is designed to help you to learn step by step. There's a training each day with an assignment. So it's to challenge you to step out of your comfort zone, because with what doesn't challenge you will never change you. And while we provide this for these 5 days, the recordings are going to be available until Wednesday, and then we're going to take them down to encourage you to not let the grass grow under your feet as you have this opportunity to get the training and apply it. So this is the last day we have, and today what we're going to be talking about is what I like to call God's plan for a financial breakthrough. This is your high-income health business blueprint. In the Word of God, there is a story of a woman who was a widow who was in great need of a financial breakthrough. And many of you here are also in need of a financial breakthrough. Maybe you are looking at some mortgage payments that you are having, or maybe the economy has dropped some other sources of income, or maybe you're looking at a transferring from another business to be able to be a health coach full time, but it's going to require a financial breakthrough and perhaps overcoming healing from wealth wounds, or perhaps understanding the marketing principles. But either way, people are looking for a financial breakthrough, and what I love is that the Bible has so many answers that we can start digging into and understanding how to apply for our life. And so in going through God's plan, it spells the words God's plan, and there's 8 steps that we could look at that God takes this widow through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be reading from 2 Kings chapter 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the chapter first, and then we're going to break down, not the chapter, I'm going to read through the passage, and we're going to break down the different portions that are particularly applicable to your high-income health expert business. So let's go to 2 Kings chapter 4 and verse 1. The story says, "Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant, my husband, is dead, and thou knewest that thy servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. And Elisha said unto her, What shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? And she said, Thy handmaid hath not anything in the house, save a pot of oil. Then he said, Go, borrow thee vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. So she went from him, and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. And it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And when he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed." Last verse. "Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go, sell the oil, and pay thy debt, and live, thou and thy children of the rest." So in these 7 verses, we find this God's plan for financial breakthrough. And the same ancient principles that God used to help this widow are the same modern principles that we can apply. Because as we learned on on day 3, that the principles are permanent. And so let's break down what exactly was the steps that we just read. See, the G in God's plan stands for go seek a breakthrough. And we see that the woman, it's interesting, in verse 1 it says, "Now there cried a woman of the certain of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, so she goes to the man of God, she's seeking a financial breakthrough, and it's interesting, her husband was called the sons of the prophets. Well, why is that? The sons of the prophets were the name given to the students that were in the schools of the prophets, who were in the training. And why did this widow, it's kind of interesting, if a widow is going to Elisha, this man of God, this prophet who's dedicated to the work of God, why, if she's requiring this financial breakthrough, that she's going to the man of God for a financial breakthrough? Because in the Old Testament, one of the trades that they taught, not just the religious instruction, but they taught the business instruction in the schools of the prophet. And Elisha was one of the instructors in these schools, where he was an instructor not just of the Bible, but also of business. And we see the story of where the sons of the prophets, they were hitting their axe, and the axe head flew out, and it was in the water, and there was a miracle that it floated. Why were they striking with the axe? Because they were teaching the trades. They were teaching these business skills to those who were being trained for ministry. And she understood, her husband was one of his students, and she understood the man of God was also an instructor in these business lines. So she's looking for this financial breakthrough. And that's one of the steps, one of the first steps. I realized, like, in my experience, I was teaching and traveling around the nation for 5 years, and I was teaching about health and doing cooking classes, and I didn't quite, I was in need of a financial breakthrough. Like, I had enough to keep me going, but I knew that there was more that I could do if I could hire a team, if I could support more people, if I could invest in more professionals that could help speed up the process. And but the problem was, I was afraid of studying money. I thought that if I maybe studied money, then I had beliefs that, like, rich people are distracted, they're confused, they're focused on all these things that are glittery but not gold, and they're not substance. And so I had these wealth wounds that were really holding me back from, one, seeking a financial breakthrough, two, finding that. And Jesus puts it this way. He says in Matthew 7:7, seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given to you. But the thing is, if you do not seek, you will not find. So the first step is we have to go seek that financial breakthrough. And the question is, how long, like, where do I find a financial breakthrough, and how long do I search? I would say until you find it. And where do you seek? You seek in books about finances. You're attending challenges right now. You're learning about some of these wealth wounds and how to overcome them. And once I realized that there was biblical financial laws, that when you follow them, finances as a result, and there's biblical financial laws that when you're not aware of them, like any financial law that you're not aware of is being used against you by someone who does understand and is using that financial law. So it's in everybody's best interest to acquaint ourselves with, just like there's laws that govern our health, these principles of cause and effect, there are laws that govern our wealth, these principles of cause and effect. So with a similar interest that I put into enthusiasm of learning health, I had to address what are the limiting beliefs that I was facing that was keeping me without the resources to really scale the impact that I desired to see in the world. And then so the first step is to go seek a breakthrough. That's the G in God's plan. What about the O? O stands for obtain and submit to a mentor. Now, why do I say submit to a mentor? Because if you look in the story, I could show you how she obtains and submitted, because in verse 3, notice it's interesting. Her issue is debt, death, and doubt, right? She's struggling with debt, credit. How many of you think that if your issue is debt, that the answer is going to be more debt to reach your financial breakthrough? Like, that sounds a little counterintuitive, right? But let's see what the first advice that comes out of his mouth. In verse 3, he said, go borrow. Borrow thee vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. So when you hear her few, like, that's some really counterintuitive advice. And I'll explain. A good mentor is going to give you counterintuitive advice. Why? Because if it already made sense, you'd already be doing it. The same thinking that got me here is not going to get me there. So what I find is we need to obtain and submit to a mentor, because I found that, like, in life, I don't believe that there's very many shortcuts. I don't really think that there's shortcuts to success. But if there was one shortcut, one thing that it can really speed up the process, and what I believe is really the key to achieving anything in life, is in 5 simple steps. And this is, when I learned this, I started doing this for every result that I wanted, and it's worked each and every time. Number 1, you have to decide exactly what you want in life. And be specific. The more specific, the more successful you'll be. Number 1, decide exactly what you want. Number 2, find someone who has the results that you want. And number 3, pay them whatever they charge to find out what they did. And number 4 is to do exactly what they did. And number 5 is to continue until what? Until you have the results that you want. And these 5 steps work each time. And I find that even when it comes to, I've been blessed with a team of 7 people. I didn't have a team before. So I found a mentor. I decided I want a team. I want to work with others. I read a quote from my favorite Christian author, and she said, the wisest generalship is in seeing not how much you can do yourself, but in how much you can lead the people to do. And I was like, wow, I'm focused so much on how could I do more, but I realized it was time for me to build a team to help me to do more. And so I started to invest in mentors. And I started to invest in people, but I didn't know how to do that until I found people with the results that I want, and I listened to their advice. I started following that, and then I started learning different skills. So another way we can see that she submitted to the mentor is because it's like that counterintuitive advice, we have to submit. And when he says, borrow the empty vessels, pour the oils, I could prove to you in verse 6 that she was submitting. Like, she didn't fully understand. And what happens is a lot of people want to wait until they can see the entire flight of stairs before they take the first step. But the reality is, it's kind of like growing a high-income health business is kind of like driving through the fog. Whereas you're driving, your headlights can see some far out, but you can't really see all the way down the road. But you're never going to get to your desired destination unless you take that first, that you roll forward, and you can see, as you go further, you can see further. It's kind of like Jesus said in John 12:35, yet a little while is a light with you. Walk while you have the light, lest the darkness come upon you. So it's like he doesn't say to stand in the light. I believe that building a successful health coaching business this is a faith-based experience, that we have to walk by faith, not by sight, in its entirety. And so it's counterintuitive. Sometimes it can be scary. Sometimes it could be unsettling or uncomfortable. But we got to submit to the mentor, because what's powerful is that one of the things that a mentor will give is they'll give clarity. Because a mentor has been where you want to be, so they can, in a sense, they know your future. They know the pitfalls to avoid. They know the steps to take that is going to get you to the destination. They're able to give you a map that's a step-by-step system to get to that destination. And you could avoid a world of sorrow, but it's going to feel unclear because you're doing something for the first time. But one of the ways to get clarity is through obtaining and submitting to a mentor. Look, in 2 Kings 4:6, it says, and it came to pass when the vessels were full. So she's over here with her sons, and she said to her son, bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, there's not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. So there's like, Mom, there's no more. What do we do? And she's like, I don't know. Let's go to the man of God and see what's our next steps. In verse 7, then she came and told the man of God, and he said, go sell the oil. So she didn't even fully understand why was she pouring vessels of oil. Why was she pouring oil in these vessels? And once they were empty, then she's like, all right, what's the next step? And he's showing her step by step how to reach her financial breakthrough. And then she starts selling her oil. But you see that it's going to be counterintuitive. So the O in God's plan is to obtain and submit to a mentor. That is such a profound step that many people, if you do parts of it, but you avoid these steps, you're not going to get the same results. And the D in God's plan, D stands for discover your talents. Discover your talents. And we see in verse 2, Elisha said unto her, what shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? And she said, thy handmaid hath not anything in the house save a pot of oil. So in other words, she's saying, I don't have anything except, or it's like, well, I don't have any skills that people would pay me for. It's like, all I could do is this. And she had this I'm just me-itis, where it's easy to see value in other people's skills, but when it comes to our own, it's hard to see that we have something of value enough that people want to pay for. It's like we can clearly see that other people's health knowledge or other people's abilities are they're genius. We could see the genius in others, but we have a hard time seeing it in ourselves. So the D in God's plan, one of the things when I'm coaching health educators and I'm helping them to package their knowledge into profitable products is I help them to discover their talent. What are the skills that they can use? What are the knowledge that they already have? Because get this, remember what the man of God said in verse 2? He says, tell me, what hast thou in the house? What does that tell us? The knowledge you have is enough. That you already have the knowledge. You already have the ability that you can use to publish a best-selling book. You already have the knowledge, the credibility. It's the skills you have now that you can use to be able to impact people's lives and they'd pay for. A lot of times we think that what we need is outside of ourselves, outside of our house, outside of our possession. Like we get on this loop of learning where we're always seeking for more validation. We're seeking for greater credibilities, and we just stack the credentials and degrees and the certificates, and we stack more and more of this training, and we're going thousands of dollars into debt to do so. But what we're really trying to do is to feel this validation, but it's not more credentials per se that's going to bring more business. It's understanding the marketing. It's getting the right mentor that's going to help you to guide you through the process. And we see that, and she already had. God used what was in her house to help her to reach the financial breakthrough. The pot that she already had, the very thing that she was belittling and minimizing the most, where she's like, I can't do anything. I have nothing except for this pot. And God would use that pot to deliver her family and her financial future for generations. I mean, the similar experience with Moses, where Moses was asked, God asked Moses, he says, what is in thy hands? And God used what was in Moses' hand to deliver the children of Israel. And when I ask today, what's in your hand? What's in your pocket? A lot of people, we can hold up our cell phone, and it's like with your cell phone and a laptop or a Wi-Fi connection, you have the ability to deliver the people out of the diseases of Egypt. You're able to you can let God's people go and free them from the bondage of these health wounds and these lies and these limiting beliefs that people have that keeps them sick. And so we got to discover the talent. Some people are like, well, I can't do anything except for cook. All I know how to do is housekeeping. Well, excuse me, have you seen Martha Stewart? She's able to build $1 billion brand around housekeeping topics. Some people are like, well, I can't speak. All I do is I listen to stories. I just know how to ask questions. Have you seen Lewis Howes' School of Greatness podcast? He gets on there and he interviews health experts. He doesn't position himself per se as the health expert, but he finds people with powerful stories. He finds authors. He finds these speakers who teach on a subject, like a lady who specializes in sugar. He finds the world's greatest sleep doctor, and he finds people on these different natural healing expertise, and he interviews them on his podcast, and he has millions of listeners, and he has a multi-million-dollar business on the back end of a lot of these interviews that he's having with other experts. So even the skill of asking questions is $1 million ability that you can use to transform your finances for your future, your family, the causes you care about, and to spread your message like wildfire, and bring hope and healing and happiness everywhere you go. And it's just, the thing is, we got to stop devaluing the skills that you have and start using these skills and package them in a way that people are ready to pay. And here's one tip I would say is that value is in the eye of the beholder, which means that you don't get to determine the value of your skills. The marketplace determines the values of your skills. You're often the worst at correctly assessing the value that you have. It's the marketplace, and it's like for mentors that I've had that I thought things were not useful or things that I wasn't good at or I didn't have, they were the ones who were able to see in me before I was able to see in myself. In fact, when I first started my health education business and I started to sell products, and before I would teach, and my mentor said, as a health educator, we send people to health food stores all the time and for free. Why send them to other people's health food store when you could send them to your own health food store and get paid for it? And I was like, what? That makes so much sense. Create my own health products and sell those. Okay, that I could do that. But when I wavered and I was just getting started, I'm like, I don't know if I could really do that. But John Rhodes, one of my early mentors, said, he's like, look, I am so confident that you can succeed in this health business. I will have enough faith for you. You can borrow my faith until you can develop enough faith for yourself. I'm like, you can do that? It's like, I didn't know that was an option. But I've never heard someone so confidently say, like, I have so much faith in your ability and God being able to work through you to make this work. Borrow my faith. I'll have enough for yours and mine combined. And that was really helpful, and it gave me the strength and the courage to go forward and to start a business. And I found that really helps. So like, if you're here wondering, do you have enough credibility? Do you have enough skills? Are people actually going to pay you for your health advice? If you're wavering, you can borrow my faith until you have faith for yourself, because I have enough for both of us. I'm so confident in your message, your ability, the principles from God's word applied to your circumstances. I know that we can transform and help you to reach a financial breakthrough, and that you can impact the lives of so much more people than you're currently doing by understanding and applying these marketing principles to your health business. And that's what I believe, is that a good coach is going to see in you before you could see in yourself. Just as every great coach I've had in the past, one of the greatest gifts that I give my students is I don't accept their limiting beliefs. I don't accept their limitations. I don't see them for who they are now. I see them for who they can become. And I can't tell you, it's rewarding, but I can't tell you how many times my students will come to me and say, you know what? I'm so thankful that when I was doubting and I came discouraged and I was feeling hopeless, like this isn't going to work for me, you turned me around and you set me off. I felt inspired and encouraged. I'm like, I can do this. And I went home and I got so much work done. And then when they're getting their book published, when they're speaking on stages, when they are stepping out of their comfort zone and they look back at their achievements, they're like, I would have never done this if Enoch did not give me the belief in myself to be able to take forward. And I get those messages, and it's exciting, because for me, I want to be the mentor that I wish I had when I was earlier in the process, and I want to be the mentor that I'm grateful that I had when I was getting started. And that's what you get to be for your students. Because just like maybe you are concerned if you can do this, your students are going to be concerned if they can make those health changes, they can change their diet, if they can overcome, if they can move more enough to get healthy, to improve their brain. And so what you get to do is you get to inspire faith to the faithless. You help to give trust to the trustless. When they lost trust in themselves, they lost trust in others, you're able to help be the bridge to bring that trust back. And Jesus asked the question, when I come, will I find faith in the earth? And I find that I've been thinking about it this week, and I see that with new AI and deep fake videos and audio and things that sound so much like actual people that are not real people, there's a lot of distrust. There's a lack of faith in the traditional healing healthcare system. There's a lot of people who are seeing images and they're like, oh, that's AI, that's fake, that's not real. Some things are real and some things are not. And they're like, oh, that's a green screen. And people are doubting everywhere. There's so little faith here and there. But what I find is, as coaches, what we get to do is we get to restore faith in people, faith in God, faith in their future, faith in their family, faith in their fitness, faith in their mind. We get to restore faith to people, and that's exciting. So what the D in God's plan is, you got to discover your talents. And so we help you to package that into your talent into a high-ticket health coaching program, package it into a book, and help you to build a business on the back of actually monetizing these skills that you already have and can quickly acquire. And that is a D in God's plan for financial breakthrough. What about the S? What does the S stand for? S stands for systemize your solutions. And we see this in 2 Kings 4:5. So she went from him and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. So I encourage everyone to have what I would call a proprietary process. Have a shut door experience, this framework that you can follow. Take your health advice, take some patterns and package them into a way that helps you to have like a step-by-step process. Like for me, I taught a lot about God's plan, and it was these 8 principles, these 8 laws that helped me to lose weight, feel great, to overcome my heart issues. And as I taught these 8 laws of health, they helped me to grow in my health business, and they open up doors to reaching people. But you want to take, like, what are the principles? Create a unique methodology. You want to systemize your solutions so that as you're solving problems in the marketplace, find what is a process or a framework that you can create. One of the ways you can systemize your solution is, number 1, creating a unique methodology. Number 2 is having, like packaging a book. What a book does is a book is essentially a system of delivering value at scale. What's powerful about a book is that you get to tap into what I call the automation effect, where you have automated systems in place to generate clients online that they're able to find your book, buy your book, and those are automatically shipping and distributing to different parts of the world. And this is all happening whether you are on vacation, you're out of town, whether you're at home, whether you're sleeping. You're able to have these systems that you're able to generate clients automatically, convert those clients into buyers, and as they read your book, they're ascending through to booking calls, consultations, and coaching, and they want to pay you high ticket for your health advice because they're so excited about what you've done. And that's one of the great values of packaging your knowledge into a book, is that it forces you to be systematic chapter by chapter. It helps you to organize your thoughts on pages, and that is a way that you can systemize your solution, systemize your sales, systemize how you attract people closer to you. And when you have a systematic approach for selling books, that like the same ways that we teach our students on other people's platforms, then it's not a matter of constantly reinventing the wheel or trying to figure out something new. You're able to have rinse and repeat results, and you could be you know that the trainings you give will transform because you're following a system and it works each time with the people that you're helping. So you want to systemize your solution. This is where you have that automated business income that's able to support you. This is why, because of the automation and the systems that I've set up in my business, have allowed me to travel, to be able to live where I desire, with who I desire, doing what I desire. And if I'm called to go into ministry to help with something full time, I can do it, and the income is still able to financially support because you've built an automated income machine, and that's what we're helping people to develop with packaging their book and building a business on the back end of their book. And so the S in God's plan is to systemize your solutions. Get clear on how can you systematically deliver value to the marketplace that people are paying you for. Because otherwise you're going to be caught without systems. You have to continue to trade your time for money, and you're only going to get paid when you're actively involved in doing that, or working on wages or hourly salary, where when you have products, then you have profits, and profits are like a $5 profit is way better than $5 in a salary, because profits, there's no limit to what you can earn with selling products. And a book is a product, a course is a product, supplements are a product. And so you want to systemize those solutions. And then the P in God's plan is to pick your partners. Pick your profitable partners. We see that this is exactly what the man of God had her do. In verse 3, he says, "Go, borrow the vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few." So first of all, who did she get to join her dream team? Who was a partner that she picked, that the man of God counseled her to pick? Well, first of all, she picked God to be on her team. How many of you would like to have God to be your business partner? I love this photo. You see Jesus shaking hands. We see God is the silent business partner in everyone's business. And we see that first she picked God to be on her team, and then she picked the man of God to be on her dream team. And then who did the man of God say? The first person she needs to pick after that was the creditors. Even the creditors, like, go borrow from all your neighbors, borrow not a few. So then she borrowed from her neighbors, and the creditors came to be on her team. And how many of you would usually think of having a business partner as being a creditor, someone that you borrow from? It's like, that's not usually common, but it's counterintuitive. However, that was what allowed her to build a business that could generate income to be able to afford other things. And so she not only picked the creditors, God, the man of God, the creditors, she also employed her sons. So she started a family business, which I absolutely love family businesses. In fact, I interviewed a woman, her name is PJ, and she, her and her family, here they are, that they sell goat milk soap and other health products around like goat products. And I interviewed her, and her family, she was able to grow an 8-figure family business while homeschooling 8 children. And what's powerful is all these children being involved, the husband, the wife, and being able to be there for the family. I find that having a business is one of the greatest things you can do for one, starting a family, having a family, uniting a family. It breaks my heart to see how people are so disconnected and so detached, where children are looking for something that they could be a part of. And if the parents don't really employ them or to unite with them in some sort of like business experience or trade, then they find that community elsewhere. They go outside the home. And I know for myself, I'm a product of my family's business. Where I grew up with my mom, she was going around like thrift stores. She's like, oh, I could buy this for 50 cents and sell it for $50 on eBay. And like, I thought everyone's childhood was kind of like that. But as I told people, I've been fascinated with digital marketing since I was 12, people's faces get shocked. They're like, what? Like, why were you at 12 years old studying digital marketing when I was out there like playing basketball with the boys, or the girls are like, I was playing with dolls, and you're out there like building businesses since you were 10. And at first, like, I thought that was normal. But as I shared my story, I realized that that's not really how people grew up. But I guess it's just because my mom was an entrepreneur and she encouraged entrepreneurship. And I, as mom would go through the store, buy for less, sell for more. And then I started to go through the store. I'm like, what could I buy and sell for more? And I made thousands of dollars before I was a teenager, selling like candy bars at a bike repair shop, and selling gum, and just various things that I was learning these skills. And but it's because of this family business, my mom being my first mentor, that helped me to be who I am today, and to love to serve and support who I get to serve today. So that's 18 years of entrepreneurship experience that I've just been really, I've enjoyed every moment. And so this family inspires me, PJ with her children, because they had a family business, they were able to unite their children together. And her sons, when they were ready to get married, they were able to buy their house outright in their area. They were able to buy their dream home in cash in their early 20s. Her 2 oldest sons did that, and one son was able to buy his first house in his teens. And it's because they were able to build a profitable family business. They united together, and then even when they got families, they still wanted to work together and support each other, and they enjoyed that process. And so I love seeing families united. And I believe business is part of God's plan to unite families together, because back in Jesus' day, Jesus worked in the family business. He was an entrepreneur for 30 years before he went into full-time ministry. He worked at the carpenter shop with his father. And this is how people were trained, is family businesses train their children. So anyways, so when you pick your partners, think about, who are some family members? Maybe they can help with helping you financially. Maybe they can help with their time. Maybe they can help you with the skills that they have, and they would like to contribute different portions. Maybe I know that one of the students I'm working with, he likes speaking, and his wife likes writing. So he's publishing his book. He's speaking his book, and she's editing his book. So they make a great team. There's different ways to be able to do it, and but the P in God's plan, you want to pick your profitable partners. And I realized that one of the most profitable partners that I could pick in the beginning is a mentor. Having the right mentor to guide me through the process by investing in books and courses, challenges, coaching especially, they've allowed me to make profitable decisions and see beyond what my current experience is. And being able to download over a decade of experience in days, it's like invaluable in whatever the area that I want to get results in. So that's the P in God's plan. What is the L? L in God's plan stands for lovingly sell your treasure, sell your talent. Why do I say lovingly sell your talent? In fact, when she told the man of God that we ran out of vessels, what did he say? He said, go sell the oil, pay the debts, and live thou and thy children the rest. So the reason why I say lovingly sell your treasure, your talent, is because the master key that unlocks sales is to genuinely love the people that you are selling to. And if you really love your ideal client, then you will determine to never sell them anything that is not in their best interest to buy. And you know that any time that they are paying you to work with you, that they're going to get 10 times more value than the price that you're asking for. And when you really love the person that you're serving, it's easy to think about what problems you can solve for them. It's easy for you to invest in how you can help them and serve them, and why you're excited to serve those people. So and I see like Dean Graziosi, he's done over $1 billion in sales. He said, one of the reasons why my brand has outlasted for decades, where many people have come and gone and they didn't last long term, is because I deeply and genuinely love the people that I serve. And he spends hours going through the comments, and he goes through, he reads and he learns about his target audience, and he gets to know their fears, their joys, their victories, their wins, and he actually cares about the people. And it breaks my heart to see so many certification programs, so many coaches are out there, and when you invest with them, they're just like one of many, and you're in this large group coaching model that you have a question, you send them support, they might take you a week to get back, or they're just like, it's hard for you to get any of access to your mentor. And so what we do is we keep our coaching small so that we can be accessible, that we can help our students to get to the finish line. Because like, while other people be glad to take your money, and whether you get it or not, they take off, like I genuinely want to see you get to the finish line, to package your knowledge into a book and get it to #1 bestseller. And I'm here committed. As you're making a commitment, I'm making a commitment. Why? Because I genuinely love helping people share a life-transforming and potentially life-saving message to other people. And that's why I'm able to spend a lot of my time and my team's resources thinking of what are the problems you're going to face, and already being proactive and figuring out the solutions to overcome it before it ever comes up. So it's because I genuinely love what I do and who I get to serve and how we get to show up. So the L in God's plan is to lovingly sell your talents, because it is sales. Selling is God's established plan to build wealth. It is through selling that we are able to serve people at even higher levels and do it sustainably. So the A in God's plan, what does the A stand for? A stands for acquit your debt. Now, in the verse, he says, go, sell the oil and pay thy debt, and live thou and the children the rest. So it's interesting to me that if you notice, getting out of debt is not the first step to financial freedom or financial independence according to God's word. In fact, it's not even the second or the third step. We see that we're going through the 8 steps, and this is the second to the last step of creating financial independence for yourself, your future, your family, is now quitting your debt. Where it's interesting because it's very popular. It's popular taught that the first step to financial freedom is getting out of debt. But if you really look at it, debt-free is still 0. And how exciting of a goal is that? It's like, oh, I can't wait to get to 0, or I need to get to 0 as fast as I possibly can. It's like a race to 0. How exciting does that sound? That doesn't sound very exciting. I was homeless, living in my car in between I was speaking and living in the car, and I was debt free, but I was broke. That's not the object of financial freedom. In fact, when I finally got a mentor, my mentor said, look, he was struggling financially. He's about to lose his house, and he didn't know, like, financially things were going in a downward trend, but he borrowed on his credit card to build his business, and within 6 months he was able to launch it to 6 figures, and he was able to pay off his back taxes, keep his funds backwards. And I was the first time that I ever learned not all debt is created equally. That I used to avoid debt at all costs, and then I began to realize, oh, there's 2 types of debt. There's bad debt is where you pay for stuff you can't afford and you don't need, like paying for clothes that you can't afford, or expensive restaurants you can't afford, or like even a car, like getting debt on a car is not an asset, it's a liability. It's income reducing liability. When you buy a brand new car, the price of it's going to immediately drop down the moment you roll it off the lot. That is, and people will go into debt to buy all this stuff that they can't afford. And this is where bad debt, and that's definitely going to, if you do a lot of that, it's going to lead to some financial embarrassment. However, good debt is when you leverage credit, you leverage other people's money to be able to build an asset, an income producing asset. And what we see is, what I find in God's word is that debt is what God provides for poor people to be able to start a business. And you see that she was able to borrow empty vessels, and said, borrow not a few, get as much as you can. And because it's easier to make money on other people's money than waiting to save up months and years and prolonging even further to try to have enough to be able to take those steps, where it's by borrowing other people's money, you're able to build a business that's able to generate wealth. And then you use that wealth to then pay off your debts. This is how we're able to buy our car. Instead of, like the cars that we've bought, we've been able to buy in cash, because instead of going into debt to try to pay for the car that we don't have the money for, we put that money into our business, and with the profits from the business, use those profits to then pay for the vehicles or pay for the stuff and the travels and the trips, and also reinvesting into our business. And so that's what I find, where like a quit your debt, it's very popular. I know Dave Ramsey has built an entire business brand around getting out of debt. But my advice is, don't do what Dave Ramsey says, do what Dave Ramsey does. What does Dave Ramsey do? He builds a business and uses that wealth from his business to buy what he's looking for. And so when we understand this principle, I mean, if you just go to Main Street, if you go down Main Street in your city, or in your city, you're going to see that if probably every single one of those businesses that are established on downtown in your city, they borrowed money to build a business and use the profit from their business to pay off their debt and to pay for the other expenses of life, and to buy the things that they desired. So a lot of times people are like, I want to avoid all debt, and their goal is to get out of debt and to avoid debt, but that's really not the best route. Like, don't use debt to buy stuff you don't need. But what I did is, for the first time, I decided to borrow my credit card to build a business, and by learning the skills that the mentorship provided me, I was able to pay off my credit card within 30 days, and I was able to make $3,000 within the next 3 months, and then I was able to make another $5,000. Then I started breaking other sales records with the mentorship I had, and people were wondering, like, what are you doing? How are you growing your business so quick? And I started getting interviewed on different shows and podcasts and platforms. They're like, how are you growing your business? And other health educators wanted to know, and so I started to share. I realized, oh, maybe this is something people want to know about. So then I started training entrepreneurs and teaching them more about some of the sales principles I've applied based on biblical principles. And but I would have never had that business had I not borrowed first to build the business. And so the A in God's plan is acquit your debt. Now that you've acquit your debt, what's the next step? The final step is the N in God's plan, and it stands for now sustain your breakthrough. Once you have a business, it says, go sell thy oil, pay thy debt, live, thou and thy children of the rest. Now that you have a business that is profitable. It's bringing automated income. It's like a money printing machine. What's amazing is that where a lot of times the difference between successful entrepreneurs and struggling entrepreneurs is how they view money. And where, like, people who, when I was struggling with finances, I looked at everything like an expense. And this is generally what poor people do. They look and they say, I can't afford, or that's too expensive, or that costs too much. And they look at life as everything is an expense. Whereas wealthy entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs, they look at things as an investment. And the reason why we can't afford it is because we're buying things that are not income producing assets. But the wealthy is looking at, how is this something that is going, how can I invest, what can I invest in now that will bring a return on investments? And sometimes we will, and it's like investing in mentorship to learn the skills, investing in a business to pay the bills, investing in in a book. Even a book is an investment, because then it's an asset that's able to build credibility, get speaking engagements, attract high-paying clients. And by investing in a book, it's not an expense, it's an investment, but it becomes an expense when we fail to invest in it. And that's a big thing. It's just like with health. When I'm teaching health classes, I would share with people, your health is not an expense, your health is an investment, but your health becomes an expense when you fail to invest in it. And a lot of the expenses of life come when we don't invest what we have, and that investment is going to multiply the money and be able to create an asset that's able to generate income whether we are actively involved or not. So let's review what are some of these steps. God's plan for financial breakthrough. What do we cover so far? Number one, G in God's plan is to go seek a breakthrough. If you do not seek, you will not find. O is obtain and submit to a mentor. A good mentor is going to give you counterintuitive advice, but it's the fastest way to get where we want to go. Because if the same thing got us here will not get us where we want to go. And then D, discover your talents. This is recognizing how to package the knowledge you already have into profitable products and programs that people are willing to pay for. And then S is systemize your solutions. Now that you have a solution, now let's create the systems to automate that delivery to your message and systemize your sales message so that you're able to impact people's lives, transform their lives while getting paid for it. And scaling your solutions. So the P is now pick your partners. This is building your dream team. And there's some people on our team that is going to be required that we may not always think of as being on our team, but they're just as much a profitable partner as the next. And then L is lovingly sell your talents. It's without selling, we will not build a business. And you look at every dollar that we ever have is because someone sold something to someone for a profit. Even government employees, it's because there's entrepreneurs and salespeople who sold something and they were taxed, and the government stole it from the salespeople and they paid their employees. There's office workers who are like, well, I work in an office. Well, it's because someone in the business sold something to someone for a profit, and the business was able to generate that money and then pay the office worker. And you see that it doesn't, even every dollar that's ever contributed to charity or to causes that we care about, it's because someone sold something to someone for a profit. And the only way that money gets generated or exchanged is because someone sold something to someone. And when we realize that selling is a good idea, because selling is a God idea, it helps to heal those wealth wounds that would prevent us from charging a price for our health advice. And so the L stands for lovingly sell your talent. A stands for acquit your debts. Is once you have the wealth from selling, then use that to pay off your debts, and you'll have an asset that's able to continue beyond. And then N is now sustain your breakthrough. Now use the best practices, rinse and repeat your results, and continue and learn how and continue to get further breakthroughs to reach new heights and new impacts, new audiences, that you're able to transform people's lives and prepare people for what is to come in their life. And so what we're looking at so far is God's plan for financial breakthrough. This is the steps that I followed to help me from from struggling as a health educator to becoming a health entrepreneur and really impacting people's lives. I mean, I've served people without resources, and I've served people with resources, and it's so much easier to serve people with resources than without. So this is your high income health business blueprint. And some people were asking some questions about our boot camp. And so I just want to just recap some of the things that we discussed, some of the things that that the boot camp comes with, and clarify some of the questions we have. So what we do in this boot camp is when you go to EnochLeffingwell.com/best-selling, you're going to find this website. And on this website, you will see that this will help you. What we're going to do is we're going to help you to write, to publish, and launch your book to bestseller in 60 days or less. And this is our guarantee to you. We're going to help you to package this knowledge. In the Best-Selling Book Boot Camp, we're going to help you to become an authority in your niche, to grow your brand and attract high-paying clients. So this is how you can become our next success story. We've already helped myself. I've published 2 best-selling books. We've helped Christopher package his book, get it to bestseller. Now we're getting him speaking engagements to now attract more clients to his business. And what you can do to become our next best-selling, our next success story is it's through these 6 phases. Phase 1 is all about planning your book. Here, we're going to help you discover how to come up with profitable book ideas that people actually want to pay to read. We're going to help you to know with certainty whether your big idea is a bestseller or a flop. We're going to get clear with the title, with subtitles that make your ideal clients eager to buy and read your book. And we're going to show you how the 4 book cover essentials to help your health book to sell like wildfire. And we're going to cover that in phase 1. In phase 2, we help you to package your book, which is all about showing how, one of them is like 11 unique ways to write your book, even if you're not a good writer. We're going to show you how you can take there's 14 ways to leverage your existing audio, video, or written content for a book so that you never have to start from scratch unnecessarily. And we're also going to show you how to ensure that your book brings high-paying clients, speaking engagements, and bulk book orders to you regardless if people finish your book. We're going to make sure that you're able to package your book in a way that whether they finish or not, it's bringing business back to you. In phase 3, this is all about polishing your book. Now you've got your manuscript. Now what we're going to do is we're going to help you to polish that manuscript so you can avoid the traps that leaves health authors with massive editing and proofreading time wasters and money costs. Because without the right guidance, people are stuck for years trying to write their book, or for years trying to figure out how to put everything together and get it ready for publishing. They have goals, they have desires, they have a dream to publish their book, but we see only 2% of them actually publish a book. And we're going to show you in phase 3 all the pitfalls to avoid so you can get a book done fast. In fact, in this boot camp, we're actually recording my documented process of how I was able to publish a book in 4 days and how you can too. And exact steps to be able to publish it in days rather than weeks or months or even years to publish a book. So if time is of the essence and you see a sense of urgency to get your message out, to get your mission, or to produce some income to help support some of the plans that you have for your future and desires you want to reach, then we're going to help you to get your book done quick and ready for publishing. So you don't have to waste a lot of time with, I'm just shocked at some of the things that publishers will say today to have people writing their book. But if you are a communicator, if you have a health message, then we're going to show you how to get that health message into a book quickly. And then 4 is all about publishing a book. This is the hassle-free global distribution secrets. We're going to show you the key to automated printing, shipping, and fulfillment without any inventory. No need to stock a bunch of boxes. These are going to automatically distribute your books throughout the world from your mind to their mailbox in the shortest amount of time possible. and you get to keep all the royalties for your business and your book sales. And then phase 5 is all about promote your book. I'm going to show you 7 secrets to our unique bestseller launch strategy to guarantee that your book hits #1 on Amazon and beyond. So this is going to help you to actually launch to the bestseller status. Now, only 2% of people publish their book, and even a small fraction of them ever sell and get to bestseller. So once you're a bestseller, you're always a bestseller. And that opens the doors to greater credibility, more clients, more speaking engagements, and people are going to listen to your advice, and they're willing to pay a price when they see that you're coming from a credible place from your best-selling book. And other people, there's a lot of social proof, which one of the tips that strategies we share is what I like to call the review rush strategy. This is going to be how to generate a wave of Amazon reviews for your book launch and to turn those reviews into revenue, and how you can leverage those reviews to greater scaling your impact and reaching more people that are like-minded. And then phase 6 is all about profit your book. This is how wealthy authors turn one book into a lifetime income. So I'm going to show you the 3 hard truths about making money as a health author, and we're going to show you innovative and overlooked strategies that every best-selling author should know to profit your book. And I shared earlier about 9 ways to profit from your book without selling a single copy. But in our boot camp, we actually covered 21 different ways that you're able to profit from your book without selling a single copy. Selling the copy is going to be great, but these are ways that you can build a business regardless of your book sales. So, and they all fit very tied together. By having a book, it unlocks more profit possibilities in your business. And then we're going to show book monetization secrets, how to maximize the mileage for your bestseller. Once you get to bestseller, a lot of people are not sure what to do. We're going to show you what are the next steps and how you can go beyond your bestseller in building your business and reaching the people that you're called to serve. So in this book, so what you're going to get for this is, let's go to slide 59. And just a recap of everything that's included in this program so far. And we're pulling up slide 59. Nope, it's slide 10. Keep going. It's the last one of those. So when it says everything inside, I'm going to pull it up on the screen for you real quick. There we go. This is it.
Do you want it on display?
Nope. Perfect. So here we go. This is everything that you get inside the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. First of all, you're going to have done-for-you professional cover design. This, if you were to go elsewhere, you can easily pay $1,500 to a graphic designer to get professional covers. If you're not a graphic designer, or even if you are, but you want to understand the best principles to write specifically book covers that sell, then we got you covered. And we got done-for-you book cover design templates, and that's a $1,500 value. Also, you're going to have automated printing and distribution. We're going to help you to set that up, make it simple, hassle-free, easy, and we're going to guide you step by step through that process, and where people are able to place the orders and it automatically ships out to you, and you don't have to worry about all the shipping, handling, and the distribution. That's a $500 value. And we're going to also give you done-for-you professional formatting. So you're going to format your book so that it looks and feels professional, high quality, both inside and out. That you are going to, like, as they go through your book, they see the quality that you bring to the marketplace, and they value even more the words that you're saying on each page. That's easily, if you're going to pay for formatters to do this for you, you could pay up to $1,500 for this, but we're going to provide this when you sign up today for the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. And we're also going to show you, you get to keep all the publishing and royalty rights. This is all the money that you get. We don't control. We're not a publisher that is controlling what you got to say, how much you make, where a lot of times they take a massive amount of profits, give you pennies per per book sold. You get to keep all of the profits that you make from your business, and all you got to do is pay for the price of the boot camp. That's our part, and then you get to keep all the business profits from your sales of the book and beyond. So that's easily $997 value, and you can make so much more. And then recognizing that once you have your book, we're going to show you the social media marketing for authors. So if you've ever wanted to have a platform that you could get instant access to some of the most successful health experts in your industry, and where they're going to show up and to speak on your platform, how you can create a social media content based on your book that generates more sales and customers automatically. We're going to show you strategies for consistently being able to create book-based content and attracting more high-paying clients through social media. So that's social media marketing for authors. That's a $3,000 value, and you're going to get that training unlocked, as well as for those, this last bonus is for those who pay in full. This is a pay in full bonus. You're going to get 3-day implementation workshop that's going to guarantee that you are able to put into practice the principles in this boot camp, where you're able, when people come to our workshops, people often say that these are absolutely game-changing for them. Where most seminars, most courses, most trainings, you leave with a big to-do list and a bunch of work, this workshop, you're going to leave with a big done list. You're going to actually get the assets built, so you have these income-producing assets already established when you go out the doors, and we're going to help you to write and publish your book, get it together so that you're able to impact the people you're called to serve. That's our students have paid us $10,000 to attend these 3-day workshops, and you're going to get that for free when you pay in full to these best-selling book boot camp. But previously, these workshops are not available any other way, but when you pay for the best-selling book boot camp, you're going to get that included when you pay in full. So the price for everything, you can get all of this, is worth $17,497. And easily, there are lots of publishers and companies who'll be glad to charge you $18,000. We saw someone who's charging $38,000 and $50,000 to publish your book and to do very much these similar things, but we're not going to ask you for $17,000. We're going to ask, you can get started now for just $19.97 today. And for just one low payment of $19.97, you can get your book published. You can get it written, published, and launch a bestseller, and help you to understand how to build a business around your book within the next 60 days. And if you're ready, just go to enochleffingwell.com/bestselling. If you got more questions, you can also go to enochleffingwell.com/bestselling. You can go to the page that I showed you earlier, and you want to click. Actually, I'll show you the page. Click on this link. Any of the buttons, the only buttons that you can click is to click to speak with a best-selling strategist. And what you're going to do is it's going to pull up a calendar. And on that calendar, you're able to pick a time that works best for you. And we're able to answer any questions you have, any concerns, and that you have addressed, or talk about what is the book, the idea that we can help you to launch. You're going to speak with my best-selling strategist who's been involved with all of our best-selling launches, understands the process very thoroughly, and just pick a time that works for you, and we could discuss further about what this best-selling bootcamp can do. So whether you're interested, maybe if you have an inkling, I would just encourage you to book a call and get clarity on whatever concerns you might have, and keep in mind that we have a 30-day guarantee. So if we could switch back to the slides, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee that if you're not completely satisfied when you sign up today, and if you're not happy for whatever reason or for no reason whatsoever, whether it's 29 minutes from now or 29 days from now, just let me know, and we'll be happy to give your money back, because we stand by the quality, the system. We know that it works, and like, we have a philosophy in our company: if we can't help you, then we don't want your money. We want to make sure that you are able to get what you're looking for. So the website we see is, it's on the screen, enochleffingwell.com/bestselling. Right there at the bottom, we could drop it on Zoom as well, and we can drop the link on the live stream as well. So it's enochleffingwell.com/bestselling. with an ing, and you can get a lot of the details, the overview of what it includes and what we talk about. So some other questions I realize that some people have regarding this is, and I just want to address some of them, is someone's asking, what if they don't really have experience with writing a book, or they're not really a good writer? So even if you have no prior experience, that's not a problem, because our bootcamp is designed to guide you step by step from idea to published author. And we make the process accessible for beginners and easy to follow, whether you're in the beginning or experienced in writing. You don't have to be an experienced writer to publish a best-selling book. In fact, one of the reasons I realized that as speakers and health educators, they have a hard time is because, like me, you see yourself more like a speaker than a writer. And if you don't have a problem speaking for, say, 4 hours on your health subject, your health story, the mistakes that people can avoid, or the secrets that you found through your journey, if you can speak for a couple hours on your topic, you can publish a book. Because one strategy that's unique about ours is we encourage people, don't write your book, speak your book. And when you can speak your book, as I was sharing in the VIP session, this book right here was the first book that we launched a bestseller. I took 4 videos from YouTube, transcribed them, and was able to have a team to be able to edit or work and do some of the editing and be able to put it into a best-selling book. We were able to launch this #1 bestseller. We got testimonies and reviews from people that their lives have been deeply impacted and greatly changed through this book. And for me, as the author, I was able to record the videos, which I like speaking. I have no problem speaking and verbalizing. I'm more of a spoken communicator than a written communicator. And the great news is you don't have to be a writer to publish a great best-selling book. And so we're going to help guide you. If you are a writer, then we also have ways that what I like to call knowing your author's DNA. And knowing what your author's DNA is, we're going to have a plan and a strategy that's going to be optimized for your author's DNA to make it fun, fast, and easy. So you don't have to be exhausting to get your book out, but it's going to be energizing in a way that you're actually designed to communicate, in the way that you're wired to. So if you don't have much experience, it's totally fine, because our system accounts for that. Another question is, how much time will I need to commit each week? So the boot camp is designed where it requires, it's on demand, so you can work at your own pace. Some people decide to go through it. They like pick a weekend and they just put their head down and they get it all done in a weekend. Other people, they want to take it time. They want to take their time throughout. But the reality is, you have the ability to pick your hours. It's online and it's on demand, so you have the coaching that's available to you at the speed that you want to go through. We decided to go through the process, and we published our book in 4 days, and we documented exactly what we did. We said, this is what we're doing, this is what we're about to do, and we did it. And our goal was to get it done in 3 days, but I was teaching my students how to do it, and I was recording the boot camp, and we were implementing, and we were still able to get it done in 4 days. So you have whatever level of commitment that you want to take, but we make it to where it's ideal for busy health professionals, people who've got life and other responsibilities. They could fit it in the pockets of their time and become a best-selling author, where it doesn't have to take months and years, but you can get it done way faster. So if time is of the essence, then this boot camp is perfect for you, because of the way that we've structured it, optimized to leverage your time in the best way possible. And then some people are asking, well, what if I can't afford a $2,000 fee right now? And I understand people with budgeting concerns. So what we do is we have flexible payment plans, and to make the investment easier for you. So if you need a payment plan, then book a call. We could talk about it on the call, and we could find something that works best for you. But we do have affordable payment plans for those who want to break it up into several payments. However, we have currently there's 5 payments of $497, and that you can pay in, or $2,000 up front is going to be the most affordable, the best option, and you're going to get the painful bonus of being able to attend our 3-day implementation workshop. So most people would rather pay in full so that they could really leverage all the bonus and the workshop rather than doing the payments. But we do have that option, and we get the hardships and challenges that people have, so that's going to be available for people if that's necessary. And then some people want to know what makes this boot camp different from, say, other people or other publishers. Maybe you've worked with a publisher in the past. Maybe you're comparing or looking at different ways you could publish a book. And I'd say that really our unique process has a balance between some like on-demand coaching and live implementation, where a lot of coaching programs, they've got so many different people, and you're just like a number from many, and it's hard for you to have that access and the customized kind of support. And if you do have that level of support, they're going to charge $50,000, $60,000 for some of that. But what we can do is we keep our groups in the small group coaching so that I'm able to be available to people, and we're not giving you sub coaches that you're going to be trained by other people. You're actually trained by me, where a lot of people pay $12,000, pay $20,000 to be a part of these programs that they're not even getting access to the mentor. The mentor might show up in a live training kind of like this, and then you don't get to ask your questions, but I'm going to be working alongside of you, giving you feedback and helping you to understand how to publish your book, find the profitable ideas so that we can make sure that people are going to buy it on Amazon. And so what makes us unique is also that we're really geared, we understand health educators, holistic health messengers. So where a lot of books are just dealing with all sorts of stuff, nonfiction and fiction, and a variety of different ways that they're helping people, we are specially geared for those who have a health message, who understand holistic nutrition, diet, exercise, and you want to get your message out to them. We can help you to craft that message. We understand the target audience, the niche needs, and we're able to tailor all of our examples, our designed and guided through successful health coaches who follow the same principles that we're teaching you to grow their health coaching business. So that's something that's really unique about us, is a level of access and the unique specifications for health educators specifically, as well as our process where you get to speak your book instead of spending months and years to writing it. That's not used. That's not popular throughout most publishing programs that you would consider. And then also somebody asked, well, how technical do I need to be in order to follow along? And the good news is there's no specific technical skills that are required. We'll actually guide you through any technical aspects necessary for publishing and marketing your book. So we make it to where it's low tech, no tech, that you need to have in order to show up, and we make it very simple to guide you through every step of the process to make it easier. So if technology is a challenge, it won't be in the boot camp. We are eliminating that challenge for you. And then some people, well, what if I don't have a book idea yet? That's great. Well, part of the boot camp involves helping you to identify a compelling book topic that aligns with you discovering your talent and the market demand. So we have that perfect market to message match. We've got that covered. That's what phase 1 is all about, and we'll go into deeper details for that. And then some may ask, well, will this bootcamp help me if I've already published a book? And the answer is absolutely, because whether this is your first time publishing a book or you have a book and you want it to have further sales and get it to bestseller, then this bootcamp is going to help you. Or if you want to make your next book to be a great book and apply these principles, it will also help to apply the strategies there that's going to explore new avenues for monetization and marketing and building a business around either the book you currently have or the next book that you want to launch. And really the principles, when you learn our best-selling launch strategy, you can use it again and again and again. You could launch your book to bestseller multiple times a year, or you can do it for any book that you have. So it's not just a one-time one thing, it's the skills that you learn, and you could imagine the lifetime value of being able to launch a book and really a product, because the similar principles apply, that when you launch your book, you now know how to launch a product, a coaching program, a course, and a workshop that is able to generate review rush and clients and sales that you're able to use at different times throughout your career. So it's not just this one book, but it's really a lifetime of value that I would encourage you to think about. And then some people ask, well, what if my market seems oversaturated with books in my fields? What if there's just so many health books? And the great news is an oversaturated market is an indication that there is a demand. The fact that people are buying or selling health books on the subject means that there's a large demand of book buyers on that topic, and that's a great indication for you. That's a very reason to publish a health book. And what we do is we're going to teach you strategies so that you can differentiate yourself and help your book to stand out, so that you are the go-to on your area of expertise and your specialty, and that helps you to get a piece of the sales that are already coming in, rather than going to something where there's no book sales and no one's buying and nobody has an interest. And to avoid, because I've also seen the opposite, people will spend months or years publishing a book, writing and putting in all this effort for a book that nobody buys and nobody's interested in because they didn't follow the good marketing principles on the foundation of the book. And so we're going to make sure that you do it right the first time, so that you don't have to spend years launching a product or program that nobody wants to buy. And the final question that we have here is, what do I do for trying to afford this? And I would say one of the things that was really helpful for me is when I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He said a statement in there that's really profound if you think about it. He says, the difference between poor people and rich people is like how they look at buying things, where one, poor people say, I can't afford, and then they don't. And then they have less and they don't have the things that they desire. And they always lack. Whereas rich people, they don't say, I can't afford. They ask, how can I afford? And when they turn that problem into a question, then they start coming up with creative solutions like, oh, well, maybe I have a family member that could help. Or maybe if I have a product that I can sell something, then I'll sell that and then be able to afford it. I know I've had people to sell their motorcycles, like their dirt bikes, to be able to buy our products and then market it and be able to pay to make money and be able to replace a better bike. I've heard of a story of a lady who sold a refrigerator. Maybe she had a spare refrigerator and she was able to start a health business, and she went on to make several $1 million. Her name was Tracy O'Malley. And I realized, so maybe like asking how can I afford opens the door of possibilities. Saying I can't afford, that closes the door of possibilities. When you ask how, you could say, well, who do I know that would be invested in this journey? Who do I know that would want to see me succeed in this area? Who do I know that could partner with this? Or maybe who do I know that also wants to publish a best-selling book, that they have resources that they could possibly buy? I could help them to publish their book, and they'd be willing to pay and I could help them. Or by asking like, how can I afford this? There's endless possibilities that can start to come up when you ask how, instead of just saying like, I can't afford. And so that was a big takeaway. I found some creative ways to be able to invest with different trainings and mentorships that I've invested in. Just by changing that question, you could change your life, because the quality of our life comes down to the quality of the questions that we ask. And when we upgrade our question, we upgrade our life. So I would just encourage people to ask, how can I afford, if that's something that you desire to do. So this is what we have, friends. Again, the price today is just $197, and you can access this today. You can start immediately diving into the bootcamp trainings and start getting your book fleshed out and recorded. Just go to the website on the screen, EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling, book a call. And if you have any interest at all, book a call and we could discuss. We could even identify some creative solutions or ways that you pay if that's a challenge. And just book a call and talk with our best-selling strategist. We'll be able to discuss how can we package your knowledge into a book and transform the lives of so many. So I just want to say, everybody, as we end this 5-day challenge, you have now been equipped with some of the tools that can help you to really take your business to the next level. And hopefully, as you've seen through this, I'm not like withholding anything from you. I'm really I'm really I'm pulling back the curtains of our multiple six-figure business and some of the lessons I've learned from my millionaire mentors. And it's just in 5 days, there's so much more that I'd like to teach you. And I've been in business for 18 years. I've been building businesses, buying and selling. And I can't teach everything I've learned in just 5 short days. But during these days, I see that someone's unmuted on Zoom, so please mute yourself. But during...
asking for a website.
Okay, but we want to stay muted. We already addressed that. Thank you. So during these 5 days, I've given you everything that I could for the time frame, and this is a challenge to get you into action. So whether you work with our boot camp and continue this momentum and you're ready to take it to the next level, or you're able to apply the principles that you learned today, we are excited to support you on this journey. And this has been the High Income Health Expert Challenge, and I just want to encourage you that you have a message that matters. The world needs to hear you, and if you're ready to stop being like the best kept secret and to go from overlooked to overbooked so that people can really hear the message that you have to share, then I'm excited to see your work go out to the world. So until next time, friends, feel free to go through the recordings as much as you want. They're going to be taken down on Wednesday, and that repetition often deepens the impression. But remember, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, friends, and God bless.